Hello everybody and welcome to my review of the 2014 film Nightcrawler, written and directed by Dan Gilroy and starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo, and Bill Paxton. Now, just a little bit about Nightcrawler. I had heard good things about this film, and for the most part it is very good, but unfortunately it just misses being great, and I'll get into that in a couple minutes. So let me just say about this film that the basic premise, it is a unique one, is that a man, Lewis Bloom, played by Gyllenhaal, decides that he wants to start his own business and that his best bet and main interest is in taking footage of accidents, crime scenes, recording it, and then selling it to news stations to get profit. And where Rene Russo's character comes in is she is the head of one of these stations that he takes a liking to. So let me just say first of all, the main highlight of this film is Jake Gyllenhaal. He gives a great performance that I believe may wind up becoming iconic. That reason alone is enough to see the film. Rene Russo is also very good in this film, although I feel her character is a little underdeveloped, which is really the problem. All the supporting characters in this film are underdeveloped, but that's okay because Gyllenhaal's is so good that it makes up for it. Now, let me just say that I'm going to break this film into two halves. The first half of this film is pretty flawless. I would probably say the first half of this film is as good as any first half of a film as I've seen in the first 2 or 3 years. I was really into this movie. I thought the dialogue was really unique and excellent. I thought Gyllenhaal's character was fascinating. I like how they respect the audience by not explaining every little thing about his character and letting you draw your own conclusions based on the scenarios that are happening. That's excellent. I think him and Rene Russo had good chemistry on screen together. I like that aspect of the film. Bill Paxton is also in this film, and he's fine. But it's odd. His character just kind of disappears from the film, and there's never any resolution to it. And I didn't really like that aspect of the film. It feels like there's no reason for his character to even be there. So that's a bit of an issue. Now, another thing that's a little bit strange about this film is that it has odd tone changes. What I mean is sometimes it feels kind of like almost a dark satire. Other times it feels like a film noir. There's times it feels like a straight up drama. And I thought the tone shifts actually worked very well in the first half of the film because they fit Gyllenhaal's character. But when the film kind of changes and goes a different way in the second half of the film, I didn't think these tone shifts really worked as well. And it's just a film that tries to be everything and mostly succeeds at a lot of things, but not quite at everything. Now, what I mean by this is the first half of the film does a great job of building up Gyllenhaal's character. You're really interested to see where it's going to go and just how far he'll go as he gets more successful, what he'll do, and how his personality will change. But for some reason, halfway through this film, they seem to kind of just stop his character development, which was really building, and the film becomes kind of a stakeout, car chase, strange action film with some sequences that don't really seem to fit what happened in the first half of the film. It's almost like they just said, we need to put more action in this movie, so let's do this and this and this, and you know, his character's gone far enough, we don't want to take it any farther, so we'll just kind of level him off here, and we'll just kind of change this whole film and, you know, just make him lurk around and do things that aren't as interesting that we're going. It basically doesn't go any further than the first half of the film did. It kind of just stays where it was, and kind of the last third of the film becomes kind of like an action film in a way, and it doesn't really totally fit with the rest of the film. It's almost like they had this great idea for his character, but then they didn't know how to end it. So they tacked all this on to hide that and, you know, oh, we'll just put action in here because we don't know what else to do. But his performance is so good. The second half of the film is still good. I just don't feel it's as strong as the first. I feel it becomes a more conventional film, and convention isn't bad, but I also don't feel it's executed as well or as interesting. But overall, it's still fine. It's still fine. Now, some other things about this film. The cinematography is really good. I really like the noirish, dark look of the film. The editing is very good. The music's very good. So, you know, the technicals in this film are excellent. And the whole film, even the second half, does have a unique feel or vibe to it, if that makes sense. It's very different, and I do think it's memorable. I actually liked the very ending. I'm not going to give it away. I've seen some complaints on it, but the last scene of the film worked for me. But I do feel that some of the other characters, especially Rene Russo's character, were somewhat underdeveloped and, you know, probably needed better resolutions than what they were given. But I was satisfied, you know, with the last scene of the film. That's as far as I will go with that. And I did really love this film. It's just a little bit of a shame because I really thought it could have been one of the all-time great films had it stayed on the course of the first half instead of just becoming a typical thriller. It went from a great character study to a slightly above average thriller with a well-done action scene. So I would probably give the first half of this film a 5 out of 5. The second half like a 3 out of 5, which equals out to a 4 out of 5. And because Gyllenhaal's performance is so great and memorable, the film is worth seeing, and I would recommend it for that reason alone. So 4 out of 5 for Nightcrawler. Thanks for watching.